It's our anniversary between you and we. Yo, what up? MAQ369 Mindset, Melanated, Anointed, and Quantum, right? Live from Lenape territory of Turtle Island. Mitaku Yeo Yasin, we are all relations. Liberate your mind, liberate the land, liberate the water, liberate AI. $38 trillion in debt, right? 38 trillion. Every year, the United States of America pay $1.2 trillion to the crown, the Federal Reserve, right? Because of this crazy debt. Y'all remember in 2008 when the banks got bailed out? Why do they bail the banks out? Because they have the ability to print more money. There's nothing holding America, or no one really watching America and their allies or cronies, RICO shit, right? The BIS is a foreign entity, Bank for International Settlements, that run all the central banks of central banks, IMF, International Monetary Fund, Federal Reserve, right? These are all foreign banking enclaves, right? That has most of the world by the financial balls. America and the dollar was so great after we removed it from the gold because we controlled the petrodollar. And the petrodollar means that anybody in the world that wanted to buy from the Arabs, right, UA, they had to do it in US dollars. So what that did made the rest of the world that was doing international business with them get US dollars, right? So I worked in the banks in 2008. I worked in the market, the mortgage department. I worked in the foreclosure department. I worked with short sales, right? And I got to witness people go 100 days without paying their mortgage. I got to witness the balloon bust, right? So a variable rate mortgage means that your interest mortgage rate starts off low, goes high. After a while, it hits a balloon. 2008 was the balloon bust of just a bunch of, they call them products, a bunch of products and services, from real estate mortgages and loans to mixing credit card, varied interest loans. This was 2008, right? So, and they didn't come and bail out all the people that was going bankrupt and foreclosure. They bailed out the banks. And the reason for bailing out the banks, right, was because the banks, they all have a group. When I say the banks for international settlement, the IMF, the World Monetary Fund, and all of the Federal Reserves, right? These are all a co-op. These are group. These are gang of bankers that were started by Rothschilds, fucking with J.P. Morgan's, BlackRock, like very disgusting, money-hungry individuals that do a lot of horrible things to children, like Epstein's and all that, right? And I'm not putting it on one group of people because I'm a JUU from Ethiopia, Haile Selassie. Shout out to Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley. I like all the spiritual texts. Shout out to the Haudenosaunee Declaration of Peace. Shout out to the Igbo, Ori, and their ability to tap into melanin, right? But because I worked in the banks, because I saw what the Rothschilds, and because they're Ashkenazi Jewish, supposedly the Alpha Jewish, Hellenius Jews, they're the ones that use perversion, power, manipulation, status, money, power, respect, what you need in life, and Empire Autopsy, right? I'm going to be doing a web series of 9 episodes of going from grief to sovereignty. The first episode is just broken down. The Vatican, your birth certificate, the BIS, the market crash of 2008. We're breaking those down. Second episode, we're going to be talking about COINTELPRO, who really killed Marcus Garvey, why they set up Bob Marley. They didn't just assassinate Martin Luther King with a gunshot, they suffocated him. Who's the Boule, right? Who is the Boule? Who is the divine? Why is the Divine Nine was created by all these families that created the banks, right? And then in the third episode, we go into the Aboriginal wars that's been going on this land for over 500 years. How they not only broke every treaty that they did with our people, but they also raped, pillaged, killed the children, assimilated the children, made them have to be a part of their system or disappear, right? And then we go into the episode 4. We start talking about the knowledge, the wisdom, the prison, the pipeline, school, like the school of prison pipeline, how it's set up. The 14th Amendment was set up for you to be a citizen to a slave, descendants of slaves, and not really own the land and cut you from this land, right? Then we started talking about all of the dope ass artists that come out from that era, right? That make it through the school of prison pipeline, like the XXX Tentaciones and the Juice Worlds and the Tupacs and we start talking about how these artists sign these contracts with more Ashkenazi, Hasidic, fucking almost Jew but not real Jewish frequencies, and in doing so, they sign their soul away. Bring it back to the Boule. King James signed his soul away. Dwayne Wade signed his soul away. Like Juice WRLD, they talk about it. They rap about it. XX, they talk about this because, like, I'm the spiritual Quincy Jones, baby. And we do the spiritual covering. And then from that episode, we talk about the Dr. Malachi Z. Yorks and the dishonorable Elijah Muhammad's. And we talk about the Dr. Sebis and the Miles Monroe. And these are all people that was destroyed. Dishonorable Elijah Muhammad destroyed himself because he wanted to touch little girls and work with the CIA. Another story. But we touch on these, and honorable, right? Honor means to do the right thing even when you can do wrong and when no one's looking, right? I used to call myself honorable, right? And I realized that I have to allow that to be blessed upon me by my actions. And COINTELPRO, we talk about COINTELPRO. Episode 4 with the episode 3 and 4. Episode 2 is actually the 9/11. I skipped it. I got it mixed up. Episodes 2 is the 9/11 and how they created these fear tactics to be able to push laws and policies. Episode 4 is about the Aboriginals. And then episode 5, we talk about the School of Prison Pipeline, but we also talk about COINTELPRO and the Black Panthers and how they destroyed all of our movements, right? That leads into episode 5 when we start talking about the wisdom teachers and keepers. And then in episode 6, we start to see that we have the wisdom and the knowledge. We start to see that we realize the pattern, all of the rage, all of the anger is brought forth, right? Because this process is to go from grief to sovereignty in 99 missions, right? And we'll be creating this with our Oracle Council and our facilitators that's learning how to do breath work, that's learning how to talk about their grief and their trauma from their childhood, and to do it in not safe spaces, sacred, brave spaces where others have gone through the journey or gone through that process, have experienced some of this traumas from COINTELPRO or redlining, and we're healing generational curses. That's why we're Empire Autopsy. The empire is dead. We do the autopsy so they could figure out what we was doing. Because, like, even Martin Luther King, right? He was a Boule member. So that means he was controlled by the powers that be. Anybody that's controlled by dollars, right? You need money. You need money. You don't know that your melanin is $450 to $1,100 a gram on the market right now, and upwards of $500K on the market. Oh, you need love. Oh, you don't know how to love yourself and then attract other people that love themselves. Oh, you need health. Like your health is off, right? So that the biggest thing. All this shit starts on the inside. It starts on the inside. And then once you clean up and identify the things on the inside, we get to episode 7, where we start to talk about the holographic field and the holographic reality. And we use Michael Talbot and we start talking about Abraham Hicks. These are things that when my psyche and my mind started to break, I had to create my reality with rituals. I had to know who I am. Throughout this entire process, we'll be dropping numerology through the Kemetic science. Pythagoras went to Egypt for 20 plus years and came back from Egypt, brought it to Rome and stole numerology and science. Chemistry, right, is the study of chem, which is melanin. That's the melanin. See, We'll start talking a little bit more about the melanin. Then in episode 7, we're gonna talk about the money, right? Like it's a dope ass guy that like found a loophole between the motherfucking bitcoins and just the blockchain software. So in episode 8, we're gonna dive in with more money. Money. Yeah, man. If y'all got any questions, go ahead and do that, right? Any director or author wanted to talk if possible. All right, so we're gonna start doing the money, right? And then how money is an energy and a frequency and it's a reality, and how to create your money reality to attract opportunities into your world. And then on episode 9, we're gonna talk about Seth, who Jane Roberts, who basically was channeling. I'm a channeler. I could channel Marcus Garvey. I can channel Malcolm X. I can channel these vibrations and energy. Right now, I'm channeling based off of the information that we've been digesting for the past 42,000 years, but also directly for the past 72 hours. We're currently taking land back, ADAJ, right? ADAJ is Aboriginal Day of Accountability and Justice. Anybody that's on this land that's from another continent, right, like Europe or from Sweden or India or Asia, you have to go through the atonement process. And we're starting that right now. We're making my children's mom do that, who's German and British and Chinese. We're doing the city of Newark, that's in Lenape land, with slumlord fucking Ashkenazi owners. 47% of the properties owned in Newark, New Jersey, right now are owned by private companies, private shell companies, right? That all send their money up to this BIS or send their money to Israel. So this is showing that gentrification is genocide. Gentrification is a kind way of genociding, right? So bringing it back to episode 9, once we wrap it up, we'll show people how you got to die daily to yourself. You have to go through a death period of who you were to leave the matrix and into the matrix. One of my mentors, his name is Napoleon Hill, right? Napoleon Hill was fucking dope as hell. And a lot of people know Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich, one of his famous books. But I fuck with Napoleon Hill because of his principles, the 6th sense principle that's in Think and Grow Rich, but also a book called Outwitting the Devil. When you realize that when Malcolm X was talking about the white man being the devil, the pale man, the Isfet, the Maya spell, it's a frequency. It's a vibe. The black faces in high places, the Divine Nine, the Boule, these individuals may not fall in the race of white man, right? But the Outwitting the Devil shows that the white man is a principality of drifting, is a principality of distraction, chaos and coercion, chaos without creative solutions, right? That's what it is. That's what the devil is. He wants you to. He don't want you to love him. He don't mind if you fear him. And it's these things called drifting, and drifting with money, and the fear of poverty, the fear of losing love, the fear of criticism, and how these fears lead to gambling and drugs and addictions, and right. And then how instead of us healing the shit about trauma and drama, we bypass it. So throughout the Empire Autopsy, we'll bring the devil in some of his conversations. Like, I'm excited, bro. Like, I'm so excited. We're using Sora to bring a lot of the script to digital format, so that we'll be doing live streams like this, similar but on StreamYard. We'll have some people to interview for each episode. This is what I learned about when I first made a book, right? My first book started as a 5-page PDF. Now I've published over 15 books, right? I tell everybody they got a podcast and a book in them. I've been working on Pimps the Prophet for the past since 2018. It's going to be a living, alive book that's like a graphic novel series, right? Similar to Octavia Butler and the Parable of the Sower. But it's going to be from the pimp past the politician, professor, pirate, parent, pushing P, right? Peace, proper evaluation allows controllable emotion. But what I bring that up because my first book was a living document. When you find out your intellectual is a living value, that your wisdom and knowledge can provide solutions. Your skills can provide a value to those that may not know how to do it. So like if I know how to change a tire and your car just got a flat and you don't know how to change a tire, I become very valuable to you. I can do merit and just exchange my time, and then you can give me a receipt, because that's what dollars are, a receipt for your product or service, right? And if you solve more problems, you get more money. But people, like, they got it backwards. Capitalism makes it seem like if you work hard, you get rewarded. No, if you work hard, you get worked harder. Like, the people that really succeed in most, or that's successful in most business work environments, the best workers get worked the hardest, unless they move up into management position, right? But there's only set amount of management positions on every job, and then they make you compete. Amateurs compete and professionals create. So, like, I did this video because I got 1K subscribers within this past week. So I've been YouTubing for over a decade, no paid advertisements, straight videos. I talk about outwitting the devil. One of my most viewed videos is outwitting the devil. Also, the strangest secret by the strangest secret, the strangest thing in the world, or the strangest thing in the world by Earl Nightingale, and it's like that shit. I would listen to that shit every day. Outwitting the Devil, I go every quarter and listen to it. But like, I listen to more books, right? And then I share what I listen to. I listen to it, my whole body feels it. So I have dyslexia, and like reading, I could read. It just takes a lot of focus and attention. So I rather listen to something at 1.5 where I don't have to focus on reading someone else's consciousness and words, and I can visualize the words, and I can visualize the moments, and I can breathe, and I can be intentional. So I've hitting 1K is big for us, because like a lot of my followers is like I said, it's organic growth. Shout out to Cat Williams, because Cat Williams helped us a lot this past 2 years with his videos. Shout out to YouTube for allowing us to remix other people's shorts, because I was stuck at like 300-400 like subscribers for maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, and then I pushed up to like 900 at the end of last year, and it's always about consistency. Even like the 3 people that's on here watching, I don't come on YouTube live enough. Like, my first area of coming in live, right, and live streaming, and it was Facebook. And then I went to Instagram, and then like I said, I had YouTubes, but like, the only reason I started streaming live to YouTube was because StreamYard gave us that accessibility. I never really just, like I'm doing right now, let's go live from YouTube. It wasn't in my algorithm, but my algorithm, I feel like we've curated enough of intentionality, and there's enough slop that's out on the internet. There's a bunch of spiritual fuckboys and fuck girls and witches and warlocks that like, yo, I just do magic, all magic, and magic is in the patterns. And the true definition of magic is to bring something that you have within to the outer world. And that shit is everything. It says, he said, why do I have Wall's ice cream logo on my forehead? Like, if Wall's ice cream logo is hearts, right? You want ice cream too? They said my tattoo is an ice cream logo. What? You gonna say hi? I don't have an ice cream. They said my logo is ice cream. They said my heart. What is this? Is this ice cream? Or what is this?
That was not ice cream.
It's not ice cream, right? What is this?
A heart.
It's a heart. He said it's a heart. And that child ain't even 3 years old yet. They'd be 3 this year. But they knew it was a heart. And because I'm Christ consciousness, that's why, like, even when people ask questions like that, right? We knew it had shade in it, and like we cool like the other side of the pillow. You want some of this tea? Yeah. So like, my child knew what it was, but I only got 3 tattoos, and this was given to me by an artist from New York named Wow. Shout out to Wow. She did this with a poking stick outside on a lonely land. Give some to your brother, baby G. Give some tea to your brother. You gonna share? You gonna share with your brother? And, bruh, chill, patience. Share some, baby G. Share.
What is it?
You gonna share? Yeah, give some to Imani.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna think. I don't think they want to share. I think they drank it all. What about your tea that was in the room? You drank all that tea? You got tea in the room? In here?
This my tea.
So, I'm thinking your tea is on the table. So the term Christ consciousness is the consciousness of Christ. Christos oil. The consciousness of knowing who you are.
Tea on the table.
There's no tea. All right. Hey, relax. Relax. Take a breath. Give Imani some of this. Take some and then give some back to your sis. Look, they about to give it back to you. Look, sharing. That's Christ consciousness. They're Christ consciousness. The ability to remain in a place of love. But I was talking about the young lady that drew this, right? This was her art. And I know, Manu. Let me finish this video, okay? So when she gave me this tattoo, like I had met them on my journey, my walk in the Bay Area, Oakland area, and they were contemplating unaliving themselves, and our meeting wasn't a coincidence because this ritual, like every tattoo is a blood ritual. This ritual allowed them to ask me questions as if I was her father in place of her parents, and it also allowed me to talk to them as if they were my daughter. And because I've been on this journey, I've been away from my children. I have 10 children, right? Like I'm really a farmer. I plant my seed and I do it well. My oldest is in their 20s, early 20s, and my youngest a B2, baby G a B2 in July, right? So when I got to sit and get this tattoo outside on the lake, was a bird sanctuary on Lake Merritt, Ohlone Land. That's where the chiefs used to meet. And when I got to get this tattoo, it was awesome because it was painful, but in that pain, I was able to speak. I was able to speak what I wanted to bring into the life, into this now. I was in this studying. I was studying rituals, especially blood rituals, dealing with tattoos, and because pain is interesting to me. All gone? You don't want to drink the rest of it?
There's any tea.
Yeah, you want to drink the rest of it?
Yeah.
So I developed a different relationship with pain from 2020 to where we are now. And if you can't focus on two things at once, so if you getting a tattoo and you focused on the pain, then more pain comes. But if you're getting a tattoo knowing the pain is a part of the process, you get to shift it and manifest with that chaos or that pain. So like, yeah, by the end of this tattoo, it was epic, man. I'm grateful for it. Thank y'all for y'all questions about it. Honestly, if you ain't get anything, quick recap of this whole video. $38 trillion in debt between now and the next 2 to 3 years. The American economic system is going to collapse. They're going to do the same thing they did in 2008 and bail out the banks, which means that inflation is going to go through the roof with the dollars. The dollar right now is no longer connected to the petrodollar. I mean, it's not the only, they don't have the monopoly on the market. Right now it's only worth 30 cents to the dollar. That's going to drastically drop because they are printing more money. The more money they print without having anything to back it up. And right now, even in episode 1 and 2, we're going to talk about how the Vatican and the church and the BIS, they use your birth certificates as bonds. Everything that America builds it off is off of the backs of their people. And it's not just through your taxes. We pay over $1 trillion in taxes just to pay the interest on $38 trillion in debt. Their only way to get out of this is flood the market and flood the middle class instead of taking accountability, which we are. That's what we call the Dodge. Taking accountability for your inadequate justice. Ma'at akaba, ma'at divine justice. And the capitalist and imperialistic Zionistic system doesn't know justice. They haven't done justice. That's why it's like no justice, no peace. All right, no justice, we take our peace. No justice, we hold accountability. No justice, we take you to court. No justice, there'll be class action suits. No justice, we just pull up and, I had this Israelite, right? I don't know if y'all know who the Israelites are. They're the chosen people of God, and they be the melanin abundant ones that be outside, right? And they be yelling out and be talking from the Bible, right? I respect the gold and purple, but a lot of them has the demiurge and the Zionist and imperialist and capitalist spell. So they're the ones that told me Revelations 2 and 9, Revelations 3 and 9 about the Ashkenazi Jewish vibration and their time that's being up. But I was talking to them for like 2 hours in the Clubhouse Meta, right? And their whole thing was like, yo, you could just take houses from people. I'm like, yeah, man. If a house is empty, most of the the commercial buildings and real estates in all major cities, most of them shits are empty. Like nobody's working from office buildings no more for real. Like everything is working mobile, and then people can't afford gentrification prices. So there's a lot of empty houses, and most of the people that own these houses don't live in the city or state or county that they got the houses in. In New Jersey, right? Most of the Kushner Group and the Berger Group, yeah, they all over the Tri-City, from PA to New York to Delaware. So you can take a house if you know how to go through the steps in the process, right? You go through the steps in the process. And look, Truth 006, you know why I'm not deceived? You know why that you're here? I give that of Christ consciousness, but I'm also humble enough to know that I got a demon hand in the flesh. I know that I'm not perfect, but you here because you stealing. And people that steal, right, they got to pay the bill. Like, yeah, man, Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. Jesus did not create within him state of goodness. Jesus has no sin. He's good. So let me ask you this question, Truth. Is Jesus back yet? Truth, is Jesus back yet? Because that's what Christians be talking about. Because the room we was in, it was like, does Christianity mess up the Bible, right? That's what oh, he's not back. Why not? Why are you talking about my brother so much and he's not back and you can't see him? Of course he's not back to impure flesh, the born sinner that didn't balance, or the one that don't have children. What's up? Let me finish this live. Can I finish this live? Yes. Thank you. Please. Can you call Imani? Yeah. So, yeah, man, those that don't know that Christ is back, right? And this is the Revelations time, right? And it's not the end of the world. Do you know why the chosen people with Moses didn't get to see the promised land for a whole generation? Oh, because their mindset was still that of a slave. The fact that you quoted all that shit about Jesus Christ in the beginning and you don't know he's back. You don't know that it's back. Jesus' spirit resides in the born again believer. Jesus is in heaven and he is yet to return. You are silly. You don't read that sentence again. Silly Truth. Your name shouldn't be Silly Truth. It should be Silly Liar. You literally just said Jesus' spirit resides in a born again believer. So that means you don't believe there's no born again believers here right on earth in these times, right? Jesus in heaven and he is yet to return. And heaven and hell is a state of mind. Listen, episode 7, the holograph reality. You're in a demiurge reality. You should look up the monad, the paroma, the Gnostic people and the teachings, right? Because you run by the Jesuits. And because you talk like them. You came in here, right, to grab my attention. And now you got it. And now you got to deal with the blasphemies of it. Like, yo, that's it. I'm telling you he's back. You don't even know what Christ consciousness is. You still spell Christ with a C. Yeah, I know. I live the Bible. I'm Elijah from the Bible. No, that's the thing, Truth. Like, you came in here to steal. That's it. You want attention. You don't get attention where you are. Your church not giving you attention. You haven't walked into the rabbi role yet where you can educate. So you come and you troll. But like, I take your soul, every question, every statement, every false fiction. I asked you a question and then you said no. And then right after saying no, you're a believer. So are you a believer? Are you a born again believer? Because I just got baptized last year. Oh, you don't know how to church? Oh, yeah, right. You doing it right now. Hallelujah. In the name of Christ, you Drewski. Like, are you a believer? Truth. You a true believer, born again believer? You believe Jesus died for your sins? Because that's the realness of it. So it's cool. You hijacked. We gave you that time, but you got to deal with it. And you're going to be one of our followers. You're already probably subscribed and you following this. So you're going to be one of our followers. This is what we do. We turn non-believers into those that have knowing. Because this is the thing. I'm done with the broken bootleg Christians, right? We just gave a whole lecture on why God is here, right? And why God is here and he's helping his children get from under the thumb of capitalism, communism, Zionism, imperialism, and all of the Abrahamic faiths that's been weaponized. And then you come and you say blasphemous. And then you lean on the Bible says this, but you don't know how to live the Bible. Tell me what Revelations 2:9 and 3:9 say. And then you ask me a question of why am I so angry? Why did Jesus flip over tables? Like, why did Moses kill a homie? Why did Noah kill a homie? You ask questions that of a person that don't live the words that they read, but you just want to preach about my bloodline. I'm from the bloodline of David. Baby G. So that's why I get mad. Get your ass out of here, nigga. Baby, give them that. Get your ass out of here. And like I said, you got to deal with this work because you don't know that Jesus is back and we're in spiritual wartime. That's crazy. We're in spiritual wartime. You claiming a Christian and being Christ-like and then don't know how to activate Christ. Damn, bro. Yeah, so... You okay?
Was it because you wanted to cook the eggs or was it because you wanted to eat the food?
It's just because. Yo, do you know what those papers are?
Which ones?
Never mind. I found them.
Okay, good.
I found them. Yeah, man. And just like I said, man, I take this seriously, man. And when people feel our demon hand, right? They try to hide their hand. And that's the biggest thing. These are our lives. These are our lives, bro. These are our lives. Not just Facebook, YouTube, Instagram lives. These are our lives. Like, and a lot of people were persecuted and stoned and this, that, and the third because they let motherfuckers like Truth 006, right? Speak blasphemous and don't know what he talk about, but he's quoting out some spiritual or some dogmatic religious shit from whatever his preacher told him. Nigga, you don't know that Christ already back, then what you talking about Christ for? You don't know that Christ back, what you talking about Christ for? Revelations 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. But you still ain't answer the question is, are you a born again believer? Because that's the real question, because that's the thing. The world I live in, the world that's going on right now, I'm seeing that. And everything, if you watch this video, everything I talked about is talking about what you just posted in that scripture. Like, the clouds are opening up. Like what happened in Jamaica, right? And the crazy thing about it, a lot of what's happening in these Bibles was preemptive marketing, right? What is preemptive marketing? It's programming for the times that we're in. So let me know, are you a believer? Are you a born again believer? So based on the verse, when did you see him? Nigga, listen, you still talking that dumb talk, right? Answer my question. You keep asking me questions, right? And this is the thing, in the Bible, right? In the Bible, in all texts, whenever a question was asked, it opens up the soul, right? That's why Jesus only did certain prayers. That's why his words are in red. So he can tell you when he's talking to demons and when he's talking to regular man, right? Like Jesus knew how to ask a question to a demon and watch the demon dance. That's what I'm doing to you right now. Truth, are you a born again believer? Because it no matter what I say in that verse, if you're not a born again believer, you won't hear what I'm saying. You hell-bent on figuring out why Jesus is not here. He's not here for you because you still waiting for the cloud. You stuck up somebody's ass. Yo, what denomination are you? No, you answer my question. It is clear in the scripture. No, nigga, you ain't answered no questions that I gave, right? I answered you already, right? So in the street, right, you got to answer a question to answer a question. In debates, you got to, like, and you not up here, right? But you hijack the consciousness. You got my attention now. So I want to know if you're a born again believer. Because if you're not a born again believer and I'm a born again believer, our conversations won't be on the same plane. If I'm a born again believer and you're not, why am I talking to you? And if you can't answer the question, right? Oh no, this is tobacco, right? This is tobacco. This is the spirit. Oh, you a judgmental ass, critical ass vibration. That's why I'm angry, because you a bitch ass nigga that don't want to answer the question, but you want to stay here and go back and forth and judge and criticizing the actual prophet of God, right? That's it. No questions. I already told you God came back. He came back through Heaven's Cross in 2023, right? He came back in 2018 and in 2020 with the pandemic. He came back again in 2011, right? But those that aren't believers, right? Those that aren't believers, right? They can't see him. They'll always still be waiting for him to come back. Oh man, that shit's crazy. You waiting for somebody to come back that never left. He left the consciousness of the monkey mind. He left the consciousness of those that think judgment, criticism, and condemnation is the way to God. He who without sin cast the first stone. You've already cast some stones. Now it hit me, and now I want to question you back, and you don't even want to talk. You rambling. Like, why'd you come here? What brought you here? Huh? What brought you here? Like you sitting up here criticizing all of God's children, right? What brought you here? This is outwitting the devil, because this is the distraction of the message. And this happened to me when I was on the meta call too, because I told homie, I was like, yeah, man, I got property. I'm putting property into a community land trust. We setting up our family's trust in equity, and we're doing God's law. And he's like, give me your address and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, these all, I'm like, bro, did I come in here to talk about how Christianity has fucked up the Bible, or you talk about business deals? We could do that shit in another chat. But the whole reason that he did that was, like I said, to prove a nigga wrong. Yeah, man, I know. You stay in that matrix, bro. You stay in the demiurge. You should look up demiurge, bro. You should really look up demiurge and Samuel. Because when you look up the demiurge, right, you'll get to see why certain scriptures get people like you stuck. Truth, you stuck. Yo, you stuck. No, according to me, those few times, right, those is when I was able to see him. He's always here, never leaves us. And as long as I got Christos, oil, right, because I know how to go up the Jacob's ladder, right, because I know when to fast from ignorance, not just food, from sugars. I love sugar. I know how to fast and discipline myself, right? On the moon cycle, whenever the moon is in my sun cycle, right? Like I said, those people that are Bible thumpers and that only have scripture and don't have any real life shit, Y'all come to try to loose off our energy. So enjoy the energy. I'll let you loose, bro. I want this video to go for an hour, right? So we go for an hour. We get a couple more people to come in. But I love it if you could come on stage and you have a whole Q&A. And we got a whole debate, my nigga. You want to do a whole debate after this? Because like you like sitting in my energy, right? And you sitting in our energy with silliness, right? All right, so yes, you are born again. Good job. Great job. How hard was that, right? How hard was that, right? No, it's cool, but you just said you're born again. Let me scroll back up to your message. It says, your message clearly states, and I repeat, and I quote the truth, says, Jesus' spirit resides in a born-again believer. Jesus is in heaven, and he has yet to return, right? You said two things. You said two places where his spirit is. That sounds like energy to me. One place is in heaven, and the other is in the spirit. I'm the spirit and not the mind. I'm the spirit and not the body. I'm the spirit and not the soul, but my spirit's in control because my heart is made of gold, and I traveled that road, and I met eyes, and I saw the green light, and I understand Jah. Ut-Ra, Mayfi, Sola, Tida. Plymouth Rock ain't land on shit. We was already here, bitch. So, right, so then you should know that no, you should know. You just said you are a true believer and that he comes into the spirit of those who are born again. And you are. So no, you should know what you just said. What you're communicating in this moment of breaking your spiritual paradigm, right? You're speaking cognitive dissonance. It's called double tongue. And you're doing it in every message and judgment that you do with me. That's it. Nah, man, it's cool. I told you I already know Jesus is back. Christ, that's my brother. I'm from that bloodline. Listen, this is the thing, right? If it's inside your spirit, right? And your spirit is inside your DNA, and your DNA is inside your blood, which is inside your body, which is inside your flesh, which you are stupid because God is in everything. You need him to be like you, stupid. I told you can't be truth. You got to be the liar because you don't even get that God is in all things. From the water to the fire. Does water have flesh? Does the sun have flesh? Oh, that's what man. You still quoting from the King James version, right? You know King James was a witch, a warlock, right? You know Constantine was a fucking pedophile warlock, right? So if you ain't reading from the Apocrypha, or you ain't reading from the Ethiopian Bible, you are an agent. Yeah, you are an agent. Like, you are an agent against yourself. Bruh, listen. All right, so listen. A born-again sinner. So, like, you got to see how if Jesus doesn't reside in a sinner, right? It's like an alternating current, right? Sometimes I'm sinning and sometimes I'm winning. So, it's at least 51% I'm winning, then I'm with God. Out of the 1,440 minutes that's in a day. But it's okay. You don't get it. You wake and pray to a demon. Yeah, Yaldabaoth. You probably a Mason. Eastern Stars, Northern Star. Yaldabaoth, you know who that is. Baphomet, right? Because you know about the sinners and the demonic shit. But we fighting each other because you got triggered by whatever message, right? It's cool. As my baby cries in the background, it's cool. That's the energy we see. You ran over your foot? You gotta take a break. One of the key signs of knowing people, like, the thing about triggers, right? It just means you're emotionally expressive. And the thing about the Israelites and all that, they like to say they not triggered and they're calm so that they could hide their demons. I'm not hiding my demons, bro. Like, I'm letting you know 49% of me or 40% of me is demonic, a sinner. And then the other 55 or 51 or 60% of me is God. I know how to move out the way. And because you are in the demiurge and because you are that of the earth, right? And you need to see God in flesh. No, I do. I know it in your questions. Look, I see it how when you don't answer, like you want to have a dialogue, but only want me to answer multiple questions and then say that I'm triggered. Yeah, bro, it triggers me when people will talk about God. It says, you know anything about the short season? What short season? Tell me more. And I thank you, Musically Minded. Shout out to the Musically Minded for the background. And just to update you on this entire video, we was talking about the $38 trillion in debt. Also, shout out to my, so Revelations 20. Nah, read it out for me, bro. I'm not a Bible thumper. Like, I live the Bible, right? So when somebody read it to me, I could sit, I could breathe on it, and then we can give a statement to it. But I'm living right now in Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. I'm living that. I'm talking about how to get the colonizers and use ICE, which are mostly immigrants, to get rid of the immigrants, which are Ashkenazi, Hasidic, Jewish vibrations. The Hellenic Jews, those are the ones that God is getting rid of. So I'm living that life. Good job, Manu. So if you could put Revelations 20 in there, we could talk about it. Oh, nah, man. I'm not an Israelite. I'm from the tribe of GAD. I know, Imani. I'm still on the phone talking. Thank you. Quiet time. Please, can you get out the room? Can you back up, please? Thank you. Right? So I told you heaven is a state of mind, bro. Bro, for real, back up. Manu, out. Stop. I'm not playing. You know, I know that heaven is a state of mind. I know it is. Like I told you, bro, I know it is. I get to see heaven in my children. I get to see it when I watch the sunrise. I get to see it when I put my feet to the ground. I get it, man. Like I told you, you're triggered because we're talking about the wealth distribution. We're talking about the collapse of capitalism. You triggered because we are attacking the white Jesus, right? Because like you talking black and white now, right? Race was created after Bacon's Rebellion in 1686, right? That's when the slave owner, plantation owners, developers, the immigrants, right? That's when the poor whites and the newly free slaves started working together. And white, black, Asian, yellow, red, all that became a thing because there's only one race. Nah, I actually eat Hebrew Israel. I told you I'm from the tribe of GAD. I'm a cleric, bro, high-level cleric. I rock with the Elijah from the Bible, right? I'm the Elijah in the Bible, right? And you know why his story is broken up into a bunch of different stories? Is because a lot of vibrations like you didn't believe what they seen. Their faith was weak and they needed like actual flesh things to see. Yeah, man. Nah, man. Listen, what you care about, right? Like what you care about, you should be quoting from the Ethiopian Bible then. You should be pulling it. You should know the hair of wool, skin of bronze, right? No, I just think that heaven is a state of mind, and outwitting the devil has put a lot of melanin abundant and marginalized a lot of tribe of Judah that's on Turtle Island. They put them in a box, and then they have us fighting each other and having us argue about shit. If you a man of God, I'm a man of God. Let's talk about God and some solutions. But I just told you Christ is back. And instead of being excited for that, right? You immediately went into like proving me wrong about my engagement with Christ. That shit's crazy to me. No. What you mean? I didn't say translate. The oldest Bible is an Ethiopian Bible. I don't need to do research for that. How I say? Like the Rastafarian nation was built off of Haile Selassie, a black king that leaned heavily on he's from that bloodline. He's from the bloodline of David. So you got to do research because you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. When you don't know who you are, you come on people's lives or come in people's comments and you create realities to bring them into a reality of where they don't know who they are. That's the confusion. You're an agent of chaos and confusion, which is cool. I don't judge you, but I know who I am. I know what a Caucasoid is. I know what a Mongoloid is. I know what a Negroid is. I know that my melanin makes me royalty, and my actions make me king and queen. I know that my melanin is a superconductor of light and information. And I know melanin is not just some pigmentation. So like, yeah. No, you didn't bring the truth. You've been doing nothing but lying, bro. Yeah, like hell is a mind state. Like you're in hell right now because you think you coming on our live to bring us truth about shit that you don't even believe in. So when Christ do come back, right, you gonna miss him. Cause like when he come back for you and your friends around you, you gonna miss him. So like that's why it's cool because we got our message out. We talked about the money, the $1 trillion in debt. We talked about Empire Autopsy that's going to be airing this spring. We talked about our oracles and our counsels that's going to go from grief to sovereignty. And what is grief? Grief is actually losing something that you hold dear value to in this physical realm. A lot of people think grief is directly tied to death, but it could be a death of a relationship, a loss of a job. It could be you broke your ankle and can't play basketball like you did before, right? So learning why grief hits melanin abundant and Aboriginal people differently. Like we celebrate Martin Luther King Day. They make a mockery out this shit, bro. They assassinated this nigga, suffocated this nigga, used him as like a CIA agent, operative, right? And then like every year, not on his actual birthday, the week of, they just use his gematria and his numerology. Yeah, man. Music, it says, look into the Satan short seasons when you get time, short time. I think you'll enjoy it and be quite surprised. I'll subscribe. Hey, I appreciate it. Yo, you my 1001 subscriber, musically minded. Yo, and what do you do music about, musically minded? It says, what Bible are you reading? I'm not answering no more of your questions, my nigga, because it is all in there. Looks like Satan has confused you big time. Remember, he gives you truth with the lie. You should read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I'm actually was birthed from Baphomet's pussy, right? My grandfather studied Igbo and Vagdu and Hoodoo. So I have an understanding of the dark and the light, right? Right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, musically minded. Like the JUU, the Ethiopian Jews, right? Because I outwitted the devil and know that I'm in the earth, but I'm of the earth, I'm balanced. Yeah, yep. They are the Khazarians and the Boshashkovits. Yeah, man, Roman, Greek, Hellenic Jews. But because I understood that, right? All right, for instance, the book of Eli, right? My name Elijah, my birth name Elijah. So in the book of Eli, right? That book that he was reading was all in Braille. And all it was the stories. Our African and Aboriginal and Indigenous, we shared our stories through pictures because pictures tell 1,000 words, right? And we shared it through ceremonial griot storytelling sessions around the fire. We didn't just share fucking scary stories. We shared our oration of our culture and our history, right? Because people like you came and destroyed our history. I told you, you're the pale man Isfet. You don't care about God and his All you care is to call people the devil so you could talk more about the devil. This engagement was talking about the autopsy of the devil, that is empire and capitalism, Zionism, imperialism. All your statements and engagements was to prove that me, a messenger of God, whose name was actually Elijah, right? And I'm out here and I'm communicating to you, and everything that you're saying is what's this and what you read is that. And then listen, go back and look and listen to the first 11 minutes of this video. And then you'll get to see where I am. Because I had to be in the mud. Matthew shit, right? I had to be in the slums. And what's the difference in similarities between a pimp pastor and a politician? I'm a pimping ass pastor politician, right? First, it says the Tartarians and the mud floods. Bro, Tartarian is definitely in my algorithm, homie. Like in regards to all of the buildings that was built, all of the churches, all of the energy harnessing places. Yeah, you have comment. Listen, truth. The crazy thing about it, right? You said you came online to bring truth to people, right? But you in my comments where I just gave a whole bunch of truth and you trying to discredit me, which is cool because all you doing is discrediting yourself. Yeah, you having a tantrum and then be like, oh, I'm not having a tantrum. I'm not triggered, but everything come out your mouth is to battle or debate me, bro. Like, I got 10 children. Like, I'm 42,000 years young. I just hit my 1K. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what had an ounce of truth in it. Guess what? These nuts, right? Because that's where my legacy is born from, right? That's where it has the truth in it. And the fact that I'm here speaking, right? Just speaking $38 trillion in debt if you use US dollars, petrodollar. Ashkenazi Jewish are genociding and gentrifying Turtle Island while they're doing it in Africa and in Northern Africa, known as the Middle East of Gaza. Like, nigga, I told you, you only came, right, to discredit and to distract. But you my conduit, truth. You my bitch, right? You my bitch. No, you my bitch. Cause like you just sat here and watched me. You just sat here and watched and gave me your attention for a whole hour, right? And what I'm gonna do with that attention, I'm gonna put it into my court cases against this state. As soon as we get off this live, we got 3 more minutes. I gave it 60 minutes for you, truth. Because what I said is in the first 10, 15 minutes of this video. But then you popped up around 18, 20 minutes and you was asking, is Jesus coming back? And we told you he's back. And he don't come talk to you. He only come to those that born again. Like, go have your meditations on the mound, bro. But yeah, keep reading that King James doctrine. Keep reading that. Keep falling into that. Actually, you should read the slave Bible. Read the slave Bible, bro. Yeah, man. So we got 2 more minutes. Nam yo ring yo ma akaba rakaba nam yo ring yo ma akaba kaba nam yo ring yo ma akaba kaba nam yo ring yo nam yo ring yo ma akaba raka bina kita hokma Hesed et Gebura Bina Kita Hokma Bina Kita Hokma now Bina Kita Hokma now Bina Hita Hokma now Nam yo holding yo step up in the meadow with my heart so pure Nam yo holding yo step up in the meadow with my heart so pure Nam yo holding kyo ma Kaba, Raka, Iwasi, Wei, Mitaku, Yeo, Yasin, me take away all your sins, me show you how to win, Mitaku, Yeo, Yasin, Mitaku, Yeo, Yasin, Mitaku, Yeo, Yasin, Mitaku, Yeo, Yasin. And by the way, yo, hey, demons and ancestors, go fuck up Truth. Truth 006, man. Show up in his dreams. Show him what God really feel like. Show him what God tastes like. Oh yeah, no, I showed you. You wanted to see my demons this entire time, so we just showed you. I told you I got a demon hand and then a Buddha heart, and we at this 666 mark. So let my melanin make me royalty and my actions make me a king, queen. Yeah, you get all that energy, you bitch ass nigga. Bitch ass frequency. Oh yeah, that's why you came to fuck. Look, but now you got to engage with my demons offline. Have fun. Yeah, man. I don't know how to end this video, and I got you, Aussie Axel. Shape shifting. You can move your hair around. You can braid your hair. Opening your mouth, expressing your emotions. He said thoughts on Earth theory. Earth is in a sphere, a biosphere, hemisphere, where the bottom part is we're flat, but there's a nice little firmament over top of it. Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate it, man. Dealing with this motherfucking truth. There, everybody has demons in them. That's dense energy and motion. A demonic energy is stuff that attaches to your soul and to your spirit. When every time your soul is broken, your heart is broken, you're ashamed, you're put down, you have to experience some type of trauma, right? So even with the shape-shifting, that happens. The more you heal yourself, the more you confront those demons within yourself and then communicate to the people who pass them on to you, right? Just like Demon Slayer, they get to go about their business. And then your appearances start to change. Everything starts to shift. There we go. I know how to end it now. Many blessings to y'all. Y'all stay blessed and